Good evening, Betsy. It is Saturday, the 27th of February. It's the second to last day of February, which is exciting. Can you believe we got through 2 months of this? And only a couple of times we've had upload errors. RIP. Or just forgetting to upload a video that we already filmed. RIP. But yeah, we made it 2 months, which is insane. Very, very cool and very, very exciting. Pretty tired and dead today, I'm not going to lie to you, so I'm just going to answer the 2 questions that you gave me in your video and ask you some more, probably. Question number 1. What is my least favourite type of weather? My least favourite type of weather is a tie between drizzle and really, really humid but not actually raining. And the reason why is because both of these types of weather makes my hair go mental, and it's so difficult to deal with, and it goes frizzy, and it's like a triangle. It's just the worst, and we do not enjoy. However, I love wind. I think it's the coolest weather. You know, when you're inside and you can hear the wind howling, it's like, or like when you're outside and the wind's blowing back your hair and you feel dramatic, and it's just like refreshing and super fun. I think the wind's amazing. I remember like whenever it was windy and I was like small, I would go outside and just spend some time in the wind because I love the wind. I think the wind is great. And maybe I'm biased because wind's something that I study quite a lot. So yeah. Why does the wind happen? Excellent question. Kind of complicated question. Wind happens because it is mostly by the balance of forces in the atmosphere. The most important of these forces for driving wind is probably pressure gradient force, and that's going to affect most of the winds that we feel from a day-to-day basis. Where there's high pressure in one area and low pressure in another area, there's a force pushing from the high pressure to the low pressure. Other forces that affect the direction of the wind include fictitious forces induced due to the rotation of the Earth, including the Coriolis force, and frictional forces that slow the wind down. So the viscosity of the air, which usually isn't that significant, and mostly friction with the ground, or turbulence eddy-induced friction. But yeah, mostly it's because of pressure differential. Okay, so why do these pressure differentials arise? Mostly due to the ground being different temperatures, either because the sun is hitting it more in some places than other places, or for just the properties that it has. If the sun heats the ground gets hot and that warms up the air above the ground. But if you have hot air below, cooler air above, that's going to cause instability, and that hot air is going to start rising. This usually ends up with water condensing out and causing convective clouds, but that's a bit of an aside. But ultimately, if the air goes up, then that's going to create a kind of low pressure system, because there's going to be less air there because it's going to be forced up and have to flow outwards. For example, a lot of the work that I do is kind of around the area that's governed by the Saharan heat low, which is a low pressure that is caused by the heating from the Sahara, I think. But yeah, all sorts of things can cause wind. So if you get a really big convective storms, they can then induce their own circulations because of how they organise. And that's one of the big questions in my PhD. How does the sort of organised convection affect wind on a larger scale? So yeah, winds, they're cool. We love to see them. Yeah, so we kind of circled around and ended up talking about my research again. Nice. So in return, explain to me something that you've learned recently, just in general or degree ways. Cool, I'm gonna go to bed. Bye, Betsy. I will hear from you tomorrow, and I will speak to you in March 2021.